Hello and welcome to another video. So we're going to be taking a look at a Elana Haven deck, which I have now called Heal Me Baby. So, you know, pack in a full amount of heals, Healing Angel, Rabbit, Holy Bowman combos, Beast Call combos with the healing in the Elanas, Tribunals, Banishment, the Tenkos, which are fucking crazy cards. They just so easily heal you up. There is no worry about them. The White Swan, which is an interesting one that I haven't had work fully yet, but I definitely see the potential in the card. And of course the Heavenly Aegises, which are boosted by the Elana prayers. So the Decree also being, you know, crucial to kill off every class you could possibly imagine. Other than that, I think that sums up the summary of this deck. It's, you know, healing crazy. Could probably even slot in one more Elana and drop something else if you wanted, but 2 seems to be a nice happy medium for me at the moment. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video and we'll get right into the games. Okay, so we've only got 2 games because the Elana heal deck does tend to run a little longer than most of the other decks that I showcase. So I've set myself a limit of 2 games, which are both pretty reasonable. Forest being one of the easier matchups, but really nicely shows off the Haven and Tenno combos, especially with the massive stat gain that you can get. So starting off with an okay hand, a Sacred Plea, a Unicorn Dancer, and the Grimnia as our 3-drop, along with the Beast Call, which honestly I probably should have dropped in as soon as possible. I can't remember whether I do or not, or whether I go into Unicorn Dancer here. No, we do drop the Beast Call, which was the optimal play. I think dropping Beast Call on an empty board is always good, even against Forest. They do go for Into the Looking Glass though, meaning it's most likely a neutral Forest. And there is Tenko, the crazy heal card that has performed amazingly with this deck. So we can quite easily, you know, drop these cards now, and we draw into an Elana along with a Sacred Plea, making our 4-drop pretty good. Especially when we have Beast coming up next, which means the Tenko turn 5 and the Beast Call proc is just going to be insane. We pretty much curved out perfectly, and Forest didn't really have anything to contest me, which was quite good in my opinion. Being able to not have to worry about Forest. They do go for the Fortune Hunter, Fina. And of course they're going to. Fina's a really solid card for a Forest deck, especially when you're aiming for those Roach combos. Fortunately though, with Tenko we do get a pretty awesome play here. Being able to use the Holy Flame Tiger's Evolve, trade that, boost it by 1, and then use the bird to boost everything by +2 total. It's just awesome. Plus we've still got our potential clears and more healing. Unfortunately they do clear both of those, making things a little more difficult for me. And throwing H and Elf onto the board. The kind of lucky part though is that I have a Unicorn Dancer, a Healing Angel, and the Rabbit. Honestly, I probably should have went Healing Angel, that way I could have got an extra boost onto the Tenko for the heal. So it would have been +2 instead. Plus the trade here, and the attack, which would put me 1 stat ahead of where I am now, so I would have had 10 damage instead of 9 damage on this turn. That would have been slightly better. But setting up the Unicorn for a potential heal next turn also does work out quite well. And since they didn't play anything, which is really odd, I'd say they just kind of gave up from there. They were just like, nope, we're not dealing with this. Now while the last game was a little faster compared to most of the games I've played with this deck, this one was definitely on the slower side. Haven vs Haven is bound to be pretty slow, especially when I'm pretty sure we were both playing Elana Haven here. We do go double Sacred Plea and a single Elana. Probably not a bad hand. You're aiming for something like that. At least an early 1-drop and a turn 3 Elana Prayer or turn 4 Elana Prayer, where you can kind of just play it out early and not have to worry. And we get both Tenko. Pretty crazy to get both like that. But they do just throw out the 2-1 plus the heal. And I decide Unicorn Dancer is an equal trade. For me personally, I'm able to easily get rid of that 2-1, not have to deal with it. Drop my own Elana in the following turn on a clear board and have my draw card proc in the turn after. But instead we do end up going with the kill just because of the fact that we drew it. Having the extra board presence along with the draw anyway fitted nicely with what I was planning to do in the future. If I hadn't have drawn the kill, I would have went with the Elana and just played that out and went for turn 4. But because turn 4 can easily be played into Elana, I didn't really see an issue. And now we have the double rabbit healer, which fits really quite well. And Kill getting our trade. So worst case we do lose that, and we play the Tenko, which then can evolve and gain stats. There's no real downside to my hand, other than the fact that it's pretty clunky with the 2 5s. But those 2 5s can really gain stats quickly. So this is where I found White Swan really difficult to play. While I do end up playing it in the later end of this game, it's just a really hard card to place because you've got to do that trade with it. Fortunately though, when you do have an Elena's Prayer on board, you do basically get +3 back on the White Swan after the attack with it, so that's not too bad. Did he go for the Monk of Purification here? Just a little bit of a pain, making my life just a little more difficult. So I decide, screw it, we're gonna go all rabbits, all Unica, all in. Force them to either trade off or hit face, one or the other. Not a big difference due to my healing abilities. I can stand to take the 6 damage that they can throw at me. Which eventually, you know, they boosted up out of range anyway. So kind of unfortunate that they did boost out of range, leaving me in a similar spot to I was before. Although this time I do have the Tenko and a healing rabbit for an extra little bit of boost. Pushing their damage to face and trading off, which works out quite well due to the healing abilities. That's what I mean, this Tenko card is just crazy when it comes to Elana players. As long as you can get a couple things on board, you can usually deal with most things. Unfortunately we did get Decreed, which I kind of expected was going to happen at some point. That's why I've held off on playing Swan and things, because I know that they're good cards and will give me good advantage. So because I know Swan is going to be on 4 total health, I wasn't worried about trading. Being able to get rid of that 5 and then just, you know, heal up, gain stats, pretty good option. Force them to have to use more things for removal. Fortunately they do go for Tenno, which makes things just that much harder on me. The only good thing here is that Heavenly is actually a really good card. And the fact that we draw our own Decree, allowing me to completely reset the board and start from scratch, with both of us having Elena's, pretty much making all our things equal. So it's just who can combo better with Elana at the time. This game, like I said, was quite long, mainly due to being 2 really heavy heal decks. But it's a nice showcase of a different kind of variant. They are running a few different cards to what I'm running. The biggest advantage here is that we're both on 20, meaning me just dropping Heavenly, I really don't have any disadvantage to it. I can just play it out, play Cyclone next turn if I want, and have the potential clear quite easily. So the Mosaic Holy Waters are one card I would be tempted to run in this deck with that card just for the heals, but I have to find a way to slot that in. Now with the Grim now, we could have very easily dealt with everything, but Decree just was so much better. Decree there had really no downside. Just killing everything off, getting that 3 damage already, then dealing another 8 on top of that was just really good. And luckily they didn't really have anything else that could hurt me, so pretty much just a free Grim Cyclone. Like Grimnir Cyclone, being able to deal that 4 damage plus the 8 for a total of 12 in the turn. So this is kind of where things do get a little dicey though. They managed to play out another Curate, boosting themselves to 9 and boosting their Curates out of range and trading with that, putting me on 3. My only option was to draw healing. Fortunately I do. That healing literally won me the game. Being able to boost the Aegis up to 10 was my only good option. We did draw another healing. Lucky we didn't need it, but I mean that was super lucky draw for final game. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smack that like button and subscribe. You'll find the deck list for this deck in the description below, along with any kind of source that this deck has. And of course, if you want to swap out cards for this deck, it's got a little bit of breathing room, really. You know, the Boneman Keels, the Frog Clerics, even the Priest of the Cudgel and things like that, Tribunals. You can kind of swap around any kind of card in this deck quite nicely. The probably key cards are definitely the Elana Prow, definitely the Tenko, the standard Healing Angel, Rabbit and Unica combos, Sacred Plea, mostly everything else, but you've got some breathing room, which is quite nice. And you only need 2 legendaries, 2 Heavenly Arguses to run the entire deck. Everything else is pretty reasonable. You've got a few golds, not the cheapest deck for golds. Other than that, you've got all silver and bronze, which is not too bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya!